Hello everyone and welcome. In this video, we're going to show you how to create a dynamic user interface by hiding or disabling controls in Designer applications. A dynamic layout can help you streamline the data entry process and substantially increase application performance. Almost all controls, including input and output modules, sections, and even pages of a Designer application, can be tied to a Boolean field from your workbook to be made hidden or disabled. To do this, you're going to need to have Boolean name ranges in your spreadsheet and use by_value_of option under corresponding control settings. A Boolean name range is a field with true or false output. When you think about it, this is an extremely flexible method for creating logic checks and manipulating the application controls. You can create an if statement and add as much details as you want to give your users a better experience. Let's see how this works on an example. Here we have a fairly simple sales application which consists of an input and an output page. The other tabs only contain calculations and will not be shown in the UI. Here's the same application created with the Designer. In Designer applications, all input and output controls can be connected to a Boolean name range to hide or disable them. Let's assume that we don't want to display the business property deductible option to our users unless the property insurance amount is above a threshold. Going back to our workbook, we created a name range called BuzzPropAssess, which contains an if statement. This formula gives a true result when the value entered for the property amount is greater than $50,000 and gives false if it's not. Now we need to go to the User Interface Designer and select our input. From the Enabled option, we're going to select by_value_of. We then select our Boolean name range for the name range selection. Remember to click the Submit button. This input will be grayed out until a property value that is greater than $50,000 is entered. Sections work like rows in Designer applications, and you can hide an entire section with the same idea. On the bottom of the input page, we have a limits and deductibles section. We could hide this section to let our users choose whether they want to use the default values or enter their own numbers to simplify this process. This approach will declutter the user interface and make the data entry process much faster. Now let's add a checkbox input above this section. For this input, we're going to be using a simple Boolean name range. Let's call this change limits and deductibles. We then need to select a section to go to its options and change its visible property to by_value_of. For the name range, we're going to select the same name range as the checkbox. Splitting web applications into multiple pages is always a great idea, as it will usually result in better performance. You can choose to disable a page until a certain requirement is met using a Boolean name range. In our example, let's say that we don't want our users to be able to see the results unless the building insurance value is greater than $200,000. For this, we created a name range, Building Assess. Now let's go to the Page Designer and edit our second page. Here we're going to enable Enable Toggle. From Enabled by Value of, we're going to select our name range. Let's do a final preview. As you can see, I cannot transition to the output page. Thank you for watching.